what's up, guys? It is K8 Central here, and I'm bringing you guys some huge Kingdom Hearts news for you guys today. Kingdom Hearts story news. So, as you can tell by the title of this video, and you've probably all seen it all by now because it's everywhere, Kingdom Hearts Key's story has finally come to an end. After 3 years of being browser game and then coming a mobile game on Key and all that crap, it has finally come to an end. And there is some huge stuff revealed in this thing. So, of course, since this is pretty humongous news, I gotta talk about it, because there's some pretty big stuff that happens in here. So huge thanks goes out to the K8 Insider and K8's 13 teams for helping translate all this stuff, because this is some pretty fucking huge stuff that goes on here, and the dedication and hard work that they do to help translate this stuff is amazing. So, big thanks to you guys. Also, Everglow, because he is also responsible for a lot of this translation, too. So, shout out to him as well. And also, huge spoiler warning, of course, because this is some pretty huge stuff that's being revealed here. So, if you don't want to read spoilers and all that stuff, you can just click out the video. If you want to go read it yourself, go down in the description, go to the article in K8 Insider, and that will explain everything for you right there. So, with that stuff said, let's just get right into it. So, of course, let's set up a little background stuff here. So, as most of you probably know, Kingdom Hearts Key is set during a period before the Keyblade War, which means it's set way before the events of the original Kingdom Hearts, way before Birth by Sleep, way before all that stuff happened. And of course, the Keyblade War is the war that was fought between all the Keyblade wielders back then, where they fought over essentially Kingdom Hearts, you know, and it tore the world apart because of everything that happened then. And again, this game is set before the events of that, and it's pretty much describing the events that led up to the Keyblade War and how exactly it all got started. And the events described in this game that led up to the Keyblade War is described as there are unions in this game, like Vulpes, Unicorns, not going to name them all here, but there are unions in this game, and they're all trying to collect Lux, you know, in their individual unions, and they're trying to get higher in the ranks, you know, because they're collecting all this light, or Lux, as they call it in the game. And essentially, all the unions start trying to get more Lux than the others, and then conflict starts, and then the Keyblade War starts. You know, that's pretty much what happens in this game. So this thing starts with immediately the Keyblade War. We get to see all this action happening, all the people trying to kill each other, and it's pretty violent. Yeah, it's pretty scary. And it even shows images of people's hearts flying up and Keyblades falling to the ground where their bodies were, which means people are dying from all this shit, which is pretty insane. I mean, that's kind of expected, but hey, it's pretty gruesome for what they show off there. So after that, we get to see all the story stuff that happens before that. So we first cut back to a few days before all that stuff I just described happened, and we cut to where we left off in the last chapter before all this stuff happened, where Ava and Luxu, which is the sixth missing foreteller, is hanging out, and they discuss what's going on with Keyblade War and all that stuff. And we left where we left off. Luxu drew his Keyblade at Ava, which is pretty crazy. And then, when that all stuff happens, we get back to a flashback where, Scold, the player, and Gula are standing around, and Gula starts describing what is in this lost page, because I'm guessing Luxu had it with him, and they have a little flashback, whatever's going on there. And pretty much what it says is that, unable to permit disharmony, you will be disappointed by fate, and lose sight of true strength. Misleading the truth, you will venture forth in secrecy. So, what this probably means is that since this page was missing and no one knew what was in it, they were going to mislead the truth about what is actually going on, and they're going to do stuff in their own interest to see if what is going on is actually right, because they believe what they're doing is right. So all the stuff that the unions are doing in this game, all their foretellers think what they're doing is right and what their intentions are, you know, but they don't know what's actually on the last page. It's describing what exactly is going on with them, misleading what's going on here. And stuff they're doing is like Ava and the Dandelions, where they're trying to create a group of Keyblade wielders that will survive past this Keyblade War and help rebuild the world, essentially. And Master Acid also has a pretty screwy plan where he wants to recreate the world in his own image, and it's all filled with power and all this other crap, and it's so much bullshit. And then we come back to Luxu, where he pretty much explains to Ava that he is meant to survive past the Keyblade War, because that's what the Master of Masters wants him to do, so he's just gonna lay back, watch you guys destroy each other because it's inevitable at this point. Everyone knows that there's a war that's going to be going on. So he's going to be like, hey, these people are destroying each other, and I'm just going to sit here and do nothing because I do not give a fucking shit about what goes on here. And then he goes on to say that the true intentions of the Master was to see how they would handle the direction of the key, not the fate of the world. And of course, Ava does not believe that because of all the stuff that she's been trying to do during the course of this game. So yeah, that's pretty much all is said there. We then cut to another cutscene where it shows Chirithy and the player talking about all the stuff that's going on, and Skull is even there, and she goes off to do her own stuff and goes missing, of course, because that's her. And Chirithy and the player eventually run across Dark Chirithy, which is pretty much an alternate version of the Chirithy that you have. And this Dark Chirithy drops a bomb on us about what's actually going on in this game. So in the game, there's a feature called guilting, where it's pretty much you can combine metals or cards in the Japanese version of the game. You pretty much combine them together to help make your cards stronger and, you know, help make you stronger overall. So it turns out that these metals that you're combining, the power that is being used to help combine these metals to make them stronger is actually darkness. What? Yeah, so apparently guilting is the name that the Keyblade wielders gave to this process where they use the darkness to combine these metals together to make them stronger. So technically, you've been collecting light, or lux, through the power of darkness, which is... what? That's insane. I never thought of that in a million years, so that's a big bomb dropped right there. And then he goes on to summon some, like, 3 Heartless, and then he says about how he's a nightmare, and then Chirithy is a spirit, because, of course, all of you have known that Chirithy is pretty much a Dream Eater because of the symbol on his or her back. I don't know which gender it is. And then Dark Chirithy starts absorbing the 3 Heartless and becomes this big, distorted, like, Dark Chirithy with the Dream Eater's logo on its chest, and it keeps talking about how he's a bad dream, and he's showing him all these, like, showing him nightmares and stuff. That's what he's there to do. And then he says, see you in another dream, which of course leads into the theory that Kingdom Hearts Key is just in a dream because of the Dream Eater's symbol on Chirithy's back, because she's probably a Dream Eater, he or she, I don't know which gender it is again. So that could give a lot more credence to this, that this all could be a dream about what actually happened near the Keyblade War. Then we eventually cut to the Keyblade War itself. It's actually happening. People are fighting each other. People are killing each other, as we can see through all the stuff, because hearts are flying up, which means people are dying. And eventually the foretellers actually show up, and they challenge to fight you. And depending on which union you're in, you kind of fight them in a different order, or I think it's like one battle that you fight that depends on which union you're in. So all that stuff happens, you fight all these foretellers, and then eventually you just can't take it anymore because you just get destroyed. You know, you don't die, but you just get destroyed pretty much. And then you eventually lean over and die, and in the background you see hearts flying up and Keyblades just falling to the ground, and that means that a lot of people are dying. This is a very disastrous thing, as described in all the stuff that we've seen in the past Kingdom Hearts games about the Keyblade War. So this is pretty bad. And then the final scene of Kingdom Hearts Key, where the player is just lying on the ground, essentially dying, and after a while, some light shines down on the ground, which is obviously Kingdom Hearts. I mean, what else would it be? And then in the distance, you get to see a shadow of a girl, which the player describes as a goddess. And of course, it turns out to be Skull. She comes over to the player and says his name. And then Ephemera comes back, and that guy's been missing for a long time, of course. And he's finally back, thank God. So he kneels down to the player also, and the player says that he broke their promise, and he said, yeah, I'm sorry, I'm back now, and blah, 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 blah. And then in a voiced line, which is a big surprise, Ephemera reaches his hands out to the player and says, we'll go together. And the player, I think, maybe, presumably, dies. I guess. I'm not saying that Ephemera and Scold are dead, but I think the player character dies, which is kind of a depressing ending, but that's the end of Kingdom Hearts Key. So a lot of unanswered stuff that goes on in here, like, what the fuck, where's the X-Blade? I mean, that is pretty important in the whole Keyblade War thing, because that's the thing that summons Kingdom Hearts, and of course, as we saw, Kingdom Hearts got summoned, so where the fuck's the X-Blade? That is a big unanswered question. And we also got a lot of reveals in here, like the fact that combining metals is using the power of darkness, and what's actually on the last page. So, yeah. It was a pretty huge ending, and what do I think about it? I think it was pretty fucking awesome, you know? A lot of stuff gets revealed, a lot of unanswered questions get revealed, a lot of stuff happens. A lot of stuff happens in this ending. It took me 10 minutes just to go over the whole thing, you know? But I guess that's just me kind of rambling because I am kind of really fucking tired. I'm exhausted, and I'm just kind of out of it. But I still got to make a video on this because this is pretty important. So, yeah, this was a pretty awesome ending, in my opinion, because all the stuff that happens in here. I'm glad that they did answer some questions and get some big reveals in here. There is still some stuff to go on in there, but I think that stuff will be revealed in Kingdom Hearts Key back cover, which is going to be included in 2.8, of course, which is coming out in like less than 3 months, which is scary to think about because it's coming. Kingdom Hearts 2.8 is coming. The final thing before Kingdom Hearts 3 comes out is fucking coming, and it's amazing. But that aside, a lot of the unanswered questions will probably get revealed in Kingdom Hearts Key back cover because that is going to mainly focus on the foretellers instead of the player character because, of course, you're not playing as anyone in that game. So they're going to be mainly focusing on their motives and what exactly happened to lead up to all this stuff. So probably the reason why the exploit isn't there will probably get explained in back cover. So if you're left confused and kind of disappointed, just wait for that, all right? Because that is where it's all going to go down. So can't wait till December of this year for all that stuff to get revealed. I love this ending. I think it is going off on a good note. A lot of stuff gets unanswered, which will disappoint a lot of people, but I still think the ending was pretty awesome. So yeah, that's all I want to talk about with you guys today. Make sure to write down in the comments below your opinion on all this. What do you think about the ending of this? Did you like it? Did you think it was awesome? Did it disappoint you? And what do you think about all the plot twists and unanswered questions? Like, what do you think about combining metals and that being used as the power of darkness, you know? And what do you think about the lost page? What do you think about the X-Blade not being there and all that stuff? Make sure to write down in the comments below your opinion. Also, make sure to subscribe and like this video because that'd be really awesome if you did. This has been K8 Central, and I will see you guys later.